Whether you're aspiring to become a leader or you're in a new leadership role or you're an experienced leader, there are principles that we're going to teach that will elevate your leadership and your influence. So position yourself to hear every lesson.
Introducing the Mike Moore Ministries mobile app, your gateway to spiritual inspiration and godly leadership. With a host of practical features, it's like having a personal spiritual guide in the palm of your hand. Watch and listen to the How to Win podcast, get exclusive early access to the Answers That Work broadcast before it airs on television, receive uplifting and thought-provoking nuggets, and stay up to date with Mike Moore's speaking engagements through an interactive calendar. To download, visit your device's app store and search Mike Moore Ministries.
Hello, I'm Mike Moore, and welcome to the How to Win podcast. These podcasts are based off 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. It says, "Now thanks be unto God who always causes us, you and I, to win in life." I want to welcome you to my leadership edition of the How to Win. And my goal in this edition is to inspire you and to equip you to operate on a high level. We've been involved in a very powerful series entitled A Leadership Mentality. A Leadership Mentality. Leadership effectiveness or ineffectiveness is a reflection of the leader's mindset. Did you get that? Leadership effectiveness or ineffectiveness is a reflection of the leader's mindset. This powerful series, the leadership mentality, has 3 parts. Part 1 we entitle Foundation. Part 2 we talked about concepts. And in the third and final part, we're dealing with attitude. And I've divided this part, attitude, into 2 sections. Section 1, the theme of Section 1 is customer service. I bet you never thought of customer service as being an attitude, but it is. It is very important attitude that leaders who get it embrace. So in episode 1, we talked from the the subtopic, the laws of business. You can go back on Mike Moore Ministries, YouTube, and listen to that, the laws of business. In our second episode, we talked from the subject, why is great customer service a big deal? Again, you can go back and you can review that. And then thirdly, and that's the episode that we're in today, we're talking from the subject, the leader's behavior drives culture. Say that. The leader's behavior drives culture. Come on, let's say it one more time. The leader's behavior drives culture. Now, let's make that personal. And I believe that I'm speaking to leaders today. Say this: my behavior as a leader drives the culture of my organization. My behavior as a leader drives the culture of my organization. Now, let's deal with this. Let's talk culture. If my behavior as a leader drives the culture of my organization, what is culture? So let's look at culture. Culture first is how people inside the organization interact with each other. How do people inside, the employees, the volunteers, the leadership, the staff, how do people inside the organization interact with each other? That's culture. Secondly, culture is how engaged and enthusiastic people are inside the organization. How engaged are the people inside? How enthusiastic are the people on the inside of the organization? On the inside, the staff, the volunteers, the employees, how engaged are people inside? How enthusiastic, how excited are they about what they do on the inside? That's culture. Thirdly, culture is how things are around here. How things are around here. The behavior, the values, the behaviors. How are things around here? I heard someone years ago describe culture in this way. He used the analogy or the metaphor of a fish tank. You got this fish tank with beautiful fish in the fish tank. And you got these beautiful rocks in the fish tank. And then you have trees, that little trees in the fish tank. And then you got beautiful lights in the fish tank. Different colors shine through the fish tank. And then you have these great and a variety of beautiful fish in the fish tank. Now, this person defined the culture as the water in the fish tank. And he said that the water in the fish tank can be good water, healthy, or it can be foul water, dirty water. He described culture as the water in the fish tank. How is it? Because fish cannot survive. Even though the trees and the rocks and the color and the tank is beautiful, the fish cannot survive in a polluted fish tank, water that's polluted. But if the water is fresh, then the fish can thrive. So the culture has to do with how is it to work around here? What is it like around here? What are the customs? What are the behaviors? What are the values around here? And I am saying in this episode that the leader's behavior will drive the culture. Leaders' behavior determine whether the water in the fish tank, the environment, is healthy and clean and fresh, or whether the environment in the fish tank, the water in the fish tank, is poisonous and polluted and dirty and foul. Culture is that way. Culture has to do with whether or not people can survive and thrive in an environment, or whether they are hindered, their growth is hindered in an environment. So since a leader, the leadership drives the culture, then I think that there are some questions that every leader must ask themselves, his or herself, and must answer with integrity and transparency. So let's look at some questions that you must ask yourself, leader, and you must answer, and no one can answer these for you. Number one, do people outside of the business enjoy working with you? Do people outside of your business, nonprofit, for-profit business, can be a secular business, could be a church, ministry, do people on the outside enjoy working with you? Your peers, others outside, other businesses outside. You know, as a pastor, we did business with the community. We did business with people on the outside, whether it was schools or whether it was other entities. We had to, as a church, do business with the outside. And how people feel working with you on the outside is important. So do people, leader talking to you now, people, your peers outside, businesses outside, others outside, do they enjoy working with you? Well, you may need to take some surveys and you may need to ask some questions. Second question, do people honor your leadership? Remember, leadership, the leaders drive the culture. Do people honor your leadership, enjoy working with you? You say, well, I don't know. Well, you need to do some surveys. You need to give people an opportunity to express themselves without retaliation, without fear, or without negative repercussions or consequences. Do people under your leadership enjoy working with you? Third question, do people that report to you want to emulate your actions and decisions? Do people under you want to emulate your actions? Do they want to be like you? I want to be like Mike. Do they want to be like you? Do they want to emulate? Are they impressed with your decision making? Do they want mentorship from you? Do they want to embrace what you bring to the table? Number 4, do people under you feel that you're friendly, accessible, flexible, inclusive, supportive, and helpful? Do people under you feel that you're friendly? That's why feedback is so very important. I encourage every leader to get some feedback from the people that they lead. Do people under you feel that you're friendly? Do people under you feel that you're accessible? Do people under you feel that you're flexible? Do people under you feel that you're inclusive? Do people under you feel that you're supportive? Do people under you feel that you're helpful? Because you are driving, or you will drive, the culture. Leadership drives the culture. Number 5, are you easy to work with or hard to work with? Are you easy to work with or hard to work with? Because if you're easy to work with, then the environment is going to be like that. Easy to work with the people in the environment. If you're hard to work with, then that's the way the environment. If you're friendly and the leadership is friendly, that's what's the environment. If the leadership is accessible, then that's what the environment is going to be about. If the leadership is inflexible or inflexible, that's what the environment is going to be like. If the leadership is inclusive or exclusive, that's what the environment is going to be like. If the leadership is supportive and helpful, that's what the environment is going to be like in the organization, because the leader's behavior drive the culture. I think not only are there questions that you need to ask and answer, and most of these questions you're going to have to put some kind of feedback in place, because we tend to judge ourselves differently, give ourselves more grace, more mercy than we give others. We hold others to a higher standard for the most part than we hold ourselves to. So you need feedback to get some transparent, honest, frank feedback concerning your behavior. But I also think that leaders must know some things in terms of what the followers want. The people that follow you, what do they want? What do followers want? What do followers need? I'll give you 3 things that they want. There are other things, but I'll give you 3 things that the followers in your organization, your business, your ministry, your church, the followers want. Number 1, personalized attention. They want some attention. They want personalized attention. They want to be treated like they are a unique individual with personal needs and situations. Your followers are unique individuals, and God created them to be unique individuals. They also have unique personal needs, and they're involved in unique situations. So there's going to have to be some interaction, some desire to connect with your followers, because they want personalized attention. Secondly, followers want positive behavior. They want positive behavior from you. They want respect. They want consideration. They want concern. And they want appreciation. No one wants sharpness. No one wants snappiness. No one wants rudeness. No one wants harshness. No one wants meanness. Now listen, you're the boss. You're the leader. But people don't want you to be mean to them. Nobody wants that. I mean, you said, well, this is just my personality. Well, you need to change. If you're mean, you need to change. If you're rude, you need to be changed. If they're snappy, if you just disrespectful, you need to change. Don't give yourself an excuse. What do followers want? These are 3 simple things. They want to be understood. They want their feelings, their point of view considered. They want to be understood. Now, what do they want? What do followers want? Number 4, they want ownership. They want ownership. They want to be empowered with authority and responsibility. They don't just want to be gophers. They don't want to just go do this and go do that. No, they want some ownership. They want authority. They want responsibility. They want to be able to make some decisions about what they do. They want the liberty to be creative, to do things in a way that they think, as long as they get the results you need, you set the tone for the results that you want them to bring, but give them the liberty to have decision-making rights and the creative leverage to do it their way to get your results. Don't demand certain results and demand it be your way. That's not good leadership. What they want, fifthly, they want feedback. They want positive affirmation, and that's what you should be given in a majority way. Customarily, you should be giving positive affirmation, but they also want correction. They want to know if they're not doing it right. They don't want for you to wait till the review time, the evaluation time, and then to correct them. They want feedback. They want to be corrected. Finally, as I close this episode, and I trust that you're being blessed by it, leaders who get it needs to be aware of and strategic and defeating the enemies of memorable customer service. Okay, what are those things that hinder your organization, your business, your nonprofit, your for-profit business? What's hindering you from having, in your entity, your organization, from having memorable customer service? When people leave, they are impressed with the experience of interacting with you and the area you lead. Number one, indifference is an enemy. Indifference simply means a lack of concern, a lack of interest, to be just neutral. You walked in business and you can tell those people who were serving you, the customer service people, or it was just sales people on the floor. You could tell whether they were indifferent, whether they were concerned or not concerned, or whether they were just neutral, whether they were happy you were there or they just didn't care. Indifference is an enemy. Inflexibility is an enemy of good customer service. Inflexibility, in other words, when your business, it should have policies and rules so that you have order and consistency. But when your policies govern every situation and there's no flexibility, you're not going to have memorable. Well, the policy said, but there are different situations, there are different circumstances. So when you're inflexible, you're not going to have a memorable customer service. If you just got to go by the rule and there's no changes you can make to support this customer, to help this, to make an adjustment, you're not going to have memorable customer service. Defensiveness, taking complaints personally. You got to train your people to not take their complaints personally, because when they take the complaints personally, they're going to come off in a very defensive way, which leads to blame. That's another enemy. Blame is shifting responsibility. You don't want to be shifting responsibility, blaming somebody else. You want to take some ownership, which leads to debate and argument. Being argumentative. You don't want to be arguing with customers. Please understand that. That just never works. You're not going to win when you argue and debate with the customer. Slowness is an enemy. Just too slow. It's just taking too long to get this thing worked out. And finally, disempowerment. Disempowerment prevents others from having power and authority, influence, and decision-making rights. When you have people that are connected to the customer, maybe you're the boss, maybe you're the owner, maybe whatever you are, you up in this seat and you're not connected to the customer, then the people who are connected to the customer should and must have some power, some authority, some influence, some ability to make decisions on the floor level, on the customer level. If they have no capacity, no authority, no rights to make decisions, and everything has to go back upstairs and go back to the top, it's going to be slow. You're going to be considered inflexible, and people are not going to hang around with your business if it's super slow. And these people that's connected with the customer can't make any decisions, then you're going to lose out in this area, and you're going to succumb to the enemies of memorable customer service. Listen, I'm out of time. This concludes section 2 of our third part, attitude. And for these 3 episodes, we were talking primarily, the theme primarily was customer service. Now, in our next episode, we're going to begin the second section of attitude, and we're going to talk about kindness. Kindness is an attitude, and it is the currency of great leaders, the currency of great organization. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be a blessing. Listen, I trust that you're growing, you're learning. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share these podcasts with others. I want you to go back and review them. You can go to Mike Moore Ministries. You go to YouTube. Listen to these podcasts over and over and get it down in your spirit. Share it with someone else. Tell other people about the podcast. Now, listen, I trust you. I pray that you have a successful rest of the week, and I look forward to seeing you next time.